Hello everyone, and welcome to something a little bit different. Today. My name is Tommy Wave. Today we're going to be taking a look at ThatMage's Bogles Paladin deck, but we're going to be doing something, like I said, a little bit different. We're going to take a look at this deck list that's been sent by one of my lovely viewers, and they've actually sent some replays with the deck as well. So we're going to take a look at the deck, then we're going to jump in some replays, kind of see how the deck plays out, look at a couple of matches, hopefully some wins, hopefully some losses, and then we're going to jump in later and actually play some games, and that'll probably be in a separate video. But today, just want to take a look at the deck, look at some of those games that have been played, get some practice casting, because that's something I really want to do in the future. But this is ThatMage's Bogles Paladin deck. If you don't know what Bogles means, it's a term that comes from Magic. Generally meaning playing a creature that is very sticky or hard to interact with. So for instance, Shimmering Courser is a great example of a Bogle. And then the deck is focused on basically playing as many buffs onto that minion as possible, particularly aggressive ones. So like Blessing of Might, another great example. And we're going to try and just stomp our opponent into the ground with one, maybe two creatures. So the best example is, playing a card like Argent Squire or Righteous Protector, putting a Blessing of Wisdom on it, putting a Blessing of Might on it, adapting it for Wind Fury, something like that, and then just constantly using cards like Noble Sacrifice to stop your opponent from trading into it, Argent Protector to keep renewing that the Divine Shield, Hydrologist can also protect it. Got a Rebuke in here for board clears or for other single targeted removal spells. As well as Blessing of Kings, some other buff type effects. So that's the general kind of game plan. We've got some other great one drops like Secret Keeper and things like that. Putting a ton of putting a ton of pants and hats on little peeps is the perfect way to describe the deck. I absolutely agree. So yeah, this is the deck. Now we're going to jump into some of the replays, do a bit of casting, and we'll see how we go. Okay, we are here on the HS Replays replay screen. If you guys haven't used HS Replays before, it's a fantastic service. Really good at showing you decks that are being played, showing you the stats on decks. And one of the best features they have is this replay feature. So if you play a game, you can just send the replay link to your friend. They can watch it, see how that game was, see the sweet highlights on the game. One of the other cool things it does, obviously it doesn't track necessarily both players' sides of things, but it does have some cards that do see play, if they get played during the game, it'll actually show you them whilst they're in their hand. So this way we can kind of analyze both sides of the board, or we can try to, especially if all of our opponent's cards are revealed. Makes it a little bit easier. So we've got the mulligans here for ThatMage, our hero, in the bottom, and up in the top we have another player that we will get to. They are playing the Hunter Menace. So already thoughts of what kind of matchups could it be? Could it be mid range? Could it be secrets? Could it be Death Rattle? Things like that. ThatMage has got a lot of thoughts going on right here, but they've got a really interesting hand. Got a Secret Keeper, which is one of the better, a great one drop, especially with a Noble Sacrifice in hand as well. They are going second, so we do have a coin. So we've got the potential of Secret Keeper, Noble Sacrifice, and Mana Addict is another great follow-up to that, potentially, if the Secret Keeper gets removed. So we'll start this replay, chugging along. Opponent sends back the Unleash the Hounds, keeps an Eaglehorn Bow. This Eaglehorn Bow is going to be very good in this matchup. Our hero in the top is Moctezuma Q, and our hero in the bottom is ThatMage. Let me see some stay wavies in the chat for the hero of this story, which is ThatMage. Alright, so choosing to keep all four here. We do have the coin. Let's see how this game starts out. It's a pass turn one from Moctezuma. And ThatMage has gone for the turn one Secret Keeper and is choosing to coin out the Noble Sacrifice. Interesting, especially with the second Secret Keeper drawn there. Choosing not to kind of slow roll this, maybe go for turn two Secret Keeper and Noble Sacrifice. Just wants to get a big Secret Keeper as soon as possible. See if that costs our hero anything in the late game. you know, if this Secret Keeper does end up rotting in the hand for a while. Moctezuma is drawing, and just a simple hero power here. It drops that mage to 28. Argent Squire is the draw, and Mana Addict is deployed, hitting for 2 there. So now this board represents, is very, very threatening. Moctezuma is going to have to get this Eaglehorn Bow down as soon as possible to try and remove some of these threats, because they will either start hitting extremely hard or get to the point where it's very hard to remove them without a Hunter's Mark or something like that. So in a very strong position, that mage. But if we look at the hand, we know that the resources in hand are pretty low value, low impact. That if Moctezuma can take control of this game over the next couple of turns with cards like Eaglehorn Bow and Flanking Strike, cards like these could very easily take over the game. So let's see what happens from here. The Eaglehorn Bow is played. The Get Down is triggered. And our heroes' minions live another day. Second Noble Sacrifice is the draw. That is huge. This Eaglehorn Bow is doing nothing this game. Completely locked out. That's also going to buff our Secret Keeper. Phenomenal draw. Let's see if that mage goes for the adaptation and where the adaptation goes. We're maybe going to go for Wind Fury on the Mana Addict, maybe buff it up a little bit higher. Adaptation is over here, and it is... Here's the discovery. What is it? What's it going to be? Death Rattle is the choice. I agree with that. I think of those three, it is the definite choice. Could also have potentially gone for Taunt, maybe, but I think definitely agree with that. Death Rattle slaying in for huge damage. 5 damage this turn. Moctezuma already at 18. Unleash the Hounds. Okay, Unleash the Hounds is a fantastic play here. It's going to help get rid of the Get Down and allow Moctezuma to get a good trade here. The question is, they're going to take out the big Secret Keeper, maybe take out the Mana Addict and have the 2 dogs trade into the plants. No, taking out the big Secret Keeper and leaving a doggo behind. Not too sure if I agree with that one. We do have a secret plan. They're going to discover a secret. Pretty unlikely to be played. But getting the most value out of that. Oof, Mana Addict, not a great draw. I can agree with just going for the hero power here and getting the Argent Squire out. This board is more resilient to a board clear, like an upcoming Rexar or something like that. We don't want to commit all our resources, especially with the Mana Addict being so, you know, we don't have any spells in our hand. It's so low value right now. Can our hero do the last 12 damage? They're in a good position. Sound the bells. Great draw. Great draw. That's going to buff up our Mana Addict past the point that it can get traded into and give it a huge power buff. Is that lethal? It puts them to 1. Can Moctezuma come out of this? I don't think they can come out. Even Rexar does not save them. Moctezuma concedes GG. So that was a fantastic example of how this deck can really get under your opponent. You know, we look at this start. You know, obviously some great draws, some pretty lucky draws with the double Get Down there, but our opponent tried to play around it very well with the Unleash the Hounds Moctezuma. Very well done. Great game, but unfortunately, the Secret Keepers, the Mana Addicts, the Menaces are just too much, and that is GG. Let's move on to our second game. Okay, we are here with the second replay with the ThatMage's Bogles Paladin deck. In the bottom, we have our hero in the Paladin colored shorts. It is ThatMage. And in the top, also in the Paladin colored shorts, we have the enemy, Neverender. So interesting mulligans here. We've got ThatMage choosing to keep the Hydrologist, sending back Mana Addict, Blessing of Kings, Blessing of Wisdom. I think that I can totally agree with this. I think Blessing of Wisdom is maybe a keeper if we also have a 1-drop to go with it. But I assume this is kind of a bit of a hedging the bets with the mulligan. We're trying to find our 1-drops, but if we don't have our 1-drops, we've also got one of our grindier 2-drops that's going to help us get a little bit more value, really help us kind of smash straight into the game on turn 3, maybe deploy some more stuff. Now, the danger here is what deck is Neverender on? Are they on Odd Paladin? And we're going to see in that opening sequence, this is not Odd Paladin, this is Control Paladin. Oh no! This is a nightmare for ThatMage. But Interesting draw here. Did manage to pick up an Argent Squire, so we're going to be able to deploy that early. Even got the Purifiers Maul, the Divine Shield mode on the Maul. That is huge. And this Argent Squire may be going to go the distance. Hopefully can pick up a plus attack off this adaptation, because we're going to be able to give that Divine Shield, give that Divine Shield, give that Divine Shield, protect it with the Hydrologist, maybe get an auto defense matrix. Blessing of Wisdom off the top. Oh my gosh, that is so huge. This is really going to curtail the rest of the game. It's going to allow that mage to have so much card advantage, and it really, this Argent Squire has to die. But how are they going to do it? How is Neverender going to tango with this Argent Squire? They've got the Pyromancer. They don't have a coin. They've got a Consecration. This thing has Divine Shield. They're really going to have to lean on these Stonehill defenders to buy some time, hopefully trade the Divine Shield off of this Argent Squire, and hope that that mage does not get too much card advantage in the meantime. Blessing of Might, a huge pickup, really going to allow that mage to apply a lot more pressure. Noble Sacrifice off the Hydrologist. Things are going tremendously. This is the exact kind of situation that that mage wants to have. We want to be drawing cards off Blessing of Might. We want to have a nice big minion hitting hard with a Divine Shield up, with some secret protection, and they are in a good position. But the Stonehill Defender is here to slow things down. Purifier's Maul is the play. Interesting, didn't go for the attack first with the Argent Squire and then into the Purifier's Maul. Could be a little bit of extra damage there, but instead going to trade in with the Hydrologist, make sure that they have an Argent Squire that still has the Divine Shield. Interesting plays here from the Bogles deck. Neverender following it up with the Stonehill Defender. We've got two Tarums in hand. Tarum not going to be great in this matchup in this situation. We've got a Gluttonous Ooze as well. That's going to be great. Potentially take out the last charge off of this Purifier's Maul. Hopefully this Consecration can get some kind of value, but does seem like Neverender just needs to claw and survive until turn 6. Wild Pyromancer Consecration probably going to save the day. Ziliax as well could help them get there. Let's see what happens from here. Tyrion is the Discovery. Going for a big late game. That shows a lot of confidence from Neverender. They think that they can get there, or they think that that is the key to victory. Dragging this game out long, landing these big threats, just having bigger threats than these tiny little 2/2s, 1/1s, whatever. Not taking damage as well. Haven't been able to deploy that Blessing of Might, that Blessing of Kings, that adaptation. Let's see what happens from here. Trade, trade. What's happening with this Argent Squire? Attacking, no buffs. Wants to deploy the Shimmering Courser. Interesting choices here, and maybe the best choice, because that is a Spellbreaker sitting on top of Neverender's deck. Oh my gosh, the psychic plays from that mage. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Just going for a hero power, not going for Ziliax. Ziliax could have traded in here. What is happening? Is this the big bait? Are they baiting the Equality Consecration? That's not good if your opponent has Divine Shield, friend. That's not good. Maybe the Pyro Equality. Trying to do something with that. Now the Shimmering Courser has Divine Shield too. Oh my gosh, what's happened, Neverender? What have you walked into? What have you walked into? Still, though, just the anemic beatdown. The very anemic beatdown. We really got to be getting these Blessing of Might, Blessing of Kings out there. Doing more damage. MC Tech, oh my gosh. Takes the Argent Squire. Oh dear. Things are going very poorly. Things are turning around for Neverender. And now they're looking in a good position. They've stolen the Argent Squire that has the buffs. But is the Shimmering Courser getting the buffs? This is big. Oh my gosh, the Mana Addict getting the huge buffs. This is, oh my gosh. Crashing in for 14 damage, drawing a Sound the Bells. Oh my gosh. Hitting them down to 2. Can they claw it back? Tarum comes down. Big trade's going to be here. Going to take out the entire board, but the Get Down has something to say about it. But the Tarum will still remain in play. There are no silences in this list. This Tarum is going to be a nightmare to get through. An absolute nightmare. But Sound the Bells. Sound the Bells. Blessing of Might. Trade in. Tarum down. Threat dealt with. Righteous Protector out. Helping protect the trades. Getting some 2/1/1s out there is great when your opponent's on 2. Equality, then Pyro, then Consecration. That takes out everything. And now Neverender may be turning the corner. No card draw left in hand, just a bunch of anemic, beat down boys. They're all going to have Divine Shield. Is Neverender going to go for Tyrion this turn? No, Ziliax wants the health. Smart play. Spellbreaker, silencing the Mana Addict. Getting some trades here. Getting some trades. Yep. Don't want to hit this Divine Shield. You don't get any health from that. Noble Sack. Oh my gosh. Great draw. Attack in. Get this spell Secret Keeper a little bit bigger. Protect it from the trade. Get some damage in. You got to be, I think in this situation as that mage, you're just hoping that whatever taunts got discovered off those early Stonehill defenders are not good enough. But this is not looking good. The Tyrion comes down, and at this point, you got to be thinking concede. You got to be thinking concede. Unidentified Maul, +1 attack mode. Not going to be good enough here. Going to take the Divine Shield off the Tyrion, but it's just not going to be enough. No silences in the deck. A little bit of a weakness. We can kind of take from the deck, that if our opponent does land these big taunty boys, it's very hard to push through. Could be the case where we need to think about getting Iron Beak Owls in the deck. Adaptation, not going to do it. GG. Our enemy, Neverender, takes it down over that mage. In a very close match, you know, they were down to 2, and they did have a very awkward start. They made some very interesting plays, trying to bait a little bit more value out of those board clears. But the Spellbreaker came down, the double Stonehill, getting those big taunts, allowed them to turn the corner from 2 life. Ziliax healing them up a little bit more as well. And that is the GG. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, we're here with game 3. In the bottom, our hero, member of the Wave Pool, the Tommy Wave community, it is ThatMage in the Paladin flavored shorts. And in the top, the enemy of the Wave Pool in the Shaman colored shorts. It is LokiSmokey, and we've got an interesting mulligan here, choosing to kick back the Divine Favor. Even though I think the majority of these Shaman decks are going to be controlling, you're probably going to get a big Divine Favor off at some point. Kicking it back, hoping to draw it early, get some more velocity in that early game. We want velocity, and Argent Squire, Argent Protector scream for the velocity. We are going to be watching out for things like Lightning Storms, things like Volcanoes. Speaking of opening hand, LokiSmokey has the Volcano. Would see that is not Odd Paladin. So we'll see how that plays out. Nothing on turn 1. That mage just going for the Argent Squire. No need to coin here. Totem comes out. We've got Healing Totem. No threat here. What's the play? Blessing of Might. We're going to get aggressive early on. Trades with the Totem. Interesting. Chooses not to go for the face damage. Also chooses not to deploy the second Argent Squire. Interesting choices here. What are we playing around? What are we playing into? Trying to play around Lightning Storm? I don't know. I think I'd still deploy that Argent Squire. But now, this Argent Squire, this is big. Does our opponent have the Hex? They do not. They do not get the Taunt Totem. They're going to be taking another huge hit. Rebuke! Oh my gosh. Rebuke comes out, stops the Volcano. Oh my gosh. LokiSmokey is in a rough situation. However, they are going to be able to do potentially something here. They can use the Searing Totem to trade off of the trade the Divine Shield off of the Argent Squire, but Hydrologist comes down. We've got Hidden Wisdom, Repentance, Noble Sacrifice. I assume we're going to go Noble Sacrifice, but Repentance could be an interesting choice. No. Not enough mana to deploy. Definitely trades off that Divine Shield. Life Trinket comes down. Setting up that Volcano next turn. What's going to happen? Mana Addict. Noble Sacrifice is deployed. Giving Divine Shield to the Argent Squire. Smashes in. We want face damage, face damage. If you're going to Volcano, you're going to lose your board. I'm going to get to set up. That's what that mage is saying. There it is, the big Volcano. That's going to take out everything. It's going to take a really long time to do so. But everything is dead. We've got Argent Squire, Mana Addict. Do they go for the second Mana Addict? No. Playing safe, going for the Reinforce. What's going to happen now? Farsight draws into Life Drinker. Lightning Bolt takes out the Mana Addict. Deploys the Life Trinket back to 10. Now this game is getting interesting. We've got the Blessing of Wisdom, Hydrologist as well. Keep grinding. Oh my gosh, this deck finds value out of nowhere. It just appears. It just appears from the top of the deck. Speaking of value, oh, big 5-card Divine Favor. That's why we play it. That's why we play one. And that is huge. We are back in this game. We are looking good. Even if this board eats a Lightning Storm, eats a Volcano, but LokiSmokey is not out of it yet. Healing Rain is here to save the day. We have a real game on our hands. Zola as well. Can they find their the Shuttlewalk pieces though? Or are they running on fumes? Unknown. We can't see the hand. Sound the Bells. Oh my gosh. Sound the Bells, Mana Addict. This is a combination. This is a fantastic inclusion into the deck. Not only is this Mana Addict going to go huge for the long run, but it's also going to be huge for right now, and it's going to crack in for 15. If we had hit Wind Fury off of that adaptation, that would be GG. LokiSmokey would be on Smoko, taking a break. Back here, Lightning Storm is the draw. That's a good one. And the Taunt Totem. Oh my gosh, Zola for the Taunt Totem. Golden Taunt Totem, what? That's a desperation play if I've ever seen one. And the Purifier's Maul off the top as well. Gonna give that Shimmering Courser a nice Divine Shield. No, going for the Hydrologist. What do we want? Hidden Wisdom. We want more value. Give me more cards. That is what ThatMage says. And cards they will have. Primordial Drake. Another excellent draw, but is it enough? Gonna take out the Hydrologist. Get rid of these Divine Shields. Doesn't feel like it's enough though. Adaptation, what are we gonna get? Poisonous, no. Flaming Claws, maybe. Flaming Claws. Trades with the Purifier Maul, trade with the Shimmering Courser, and that is 9 damage to the face with the Mana Addict. GG. LokiSmokey, oh my gosh, they were desperate. They had some cards, but oh my gosh, that Volcano was just not enough. Rebuke. Showing how valuable it can be. We talked about that when we talked about the initial card spoilers. That Rebuke is the perfect card. If you're an aggressive deck, you want to lock off your opponent from playing board clears for one turn, that's where it is. Unfortunately, Odd Paladin, a grindy deck, doesn't need Rebuke. Wipe my board, that's fine. Here's 6 more Silverhand recruits, and you better kill them because otherwise they're going to level up. But Bogles, this deck, this is where we want Rebuke. That Volcano would have come down and destroyed that mage. But Rebuke saves the day. GG. Fantastic game. Really showing the power of the deck. The resiliency. A couple of good draws, of course. The Divine Favor. Definitely a massive draw. But other than that, all power. Getting aggressive. Making our opponent have to make plays. And especially a deck like Shuttlewalk doesn't want to have to make plays. They want to sit back, draw cards, do whatever they want. Clear the board whenever. It's fine. I'm going to kill you eventually. But ThatMage gets there. GG. Alright, here with the 4th and final game. With ThatMage's Bogles Paladin deck. We have our opponent here. In the top, in the Rogue flavored shorts, it is Fregas. And our hero in the bottom, in the Paladin flavored shorts, it's ThatMage. Interesting mulligans here. I believe ThatMage going to keep all of this. This is a tremendous start. This Righteous Protector hopefully going to get in for some damage. But, thing to note, don't have a lot of traction afterwards. No Divine Favor. No Blessing of Wisdom. We're going to be looking for those cards early on to help power us through to the mid game. Ooh, my apologies. Fregas with Fan of Knives, probably hoping to face Odd Paladin. Not today, but Sap. Oh, Sap. That's going to be a rough one. That's going to be a rough one for the deck to deal with. Not Tempo Rogue. Maybe the Nightmare matchup. Maybe not good, but Blessing of Wisdom off the top. You know what we say, friends. You know what we say. Better lucky than good. And this Righteous Protector gonna bash in, but we're gonna get completely punished. ThatMage get completely punished by this sap. Get out of here. All those buffs gone. How are we gonna reset? Righteous Protector into Hydrologist. Discover another Noble Sack. Another Noble Sack. Interesting. This adaptation might have to do a bit of work, but the Faldori Strider off the coin coming down. How much spider value are we going to get in the immediate future? Remember, this deck's going to try and close the game out early. A spider or two in the next couple of draws could totally destroy this deck. Allow them to trade in where we really don't want to. Really use up all those Noble Sacks when we only have a finite number of them. Let's see what this adaptation is. Divine Shield, +3 health, Liquid Membrane. That is garbage. That's real bad. I think Liquid Membrane or +3 health here. It's going to be a tough choice. That Mage tanking on it a bit. Adaptation, +3 health. And we are going on the anemic beatdown plan. Not a great hand here. Oh, Fan's painful. Still no spiders though. Noble Sack, saving our boys a little bit longer. Great draw. Blessing of Kings. Let's get this Murloc huge. Let's bash in. But the second sap, it's just going to ruin our day again, at least. We get to recast this Hydrologist, potentially gain some value. Oh, SI7 comes down. Fregas really turning the corner here. That Mage, you're going to need something tremendous. I don't know if Shimmering Courser is tremendous enough. What do we want? Hidden Wisdom. No, Noble Sack. I think Hidden Wisdom might have been the choice there. Get us some more options. Maybe we are wrong though. Maybe we got to protect the options that we already have. But the dagger is going to eat up that get down. SI7 take. Oh my gosh, better lucky than good. Blessing of Wisdom off the top. Battling in. I agree with putting it on the Hydrologist. See if we can protect it. Oh my gosh, Argent Protector, Shimmering Course. Argent Protector coming down to protect the Hydrologist. This thing is going to be tough to take down with Taunt. Ooh, Aldor Peacekeeper on the Shimmering Courser. Interesting get. Takes out the Righteous Protector. Takes out the Shimmering Courser, but this Hydrologist is still in play. You can't leave this thing in play. It's gonna... Oh, no, attack first. No Blessing of Might. Interesting. Doesn't want the guaranteed face damage. Is maybe too concerned about this. Purifies Maul. Is this Purifies Maul gonna go face? No, Blessing of Might. Diversifying the threats. I like it. Putting them to one. Fire off that Rebuke. Oh my gosh, if only we could see what the opponent had in hand there. There's a spider. Spider late. Fregas concedes. Fregas! Not able to turn the corner. A series of excellent draws from that Mage. Really, those Blessing of Wisdoms put them right back in the game. And a couple of great choices as well. Making sure that they were always making progress on face damage. Making sure that they were going to be able to close out the game as soon as they were given an opportunity, and an opportunity they were given. So many get downs. Oh my gosh, the most, what was that, four Noble Sacrifices, really protecting the boys there. No mana addicts that game, or at least they didn't. If they were out, they probably died immediately. I think one of the things we're noting is that Shimmering Courser wasn't doing a lot in these games. I'm not sure if there were other games that it certainly performed a lot better, but a lot of the times it was coming down on 4 and kind of eating an answer. Like it could have almost been any other minion, and it would have been just the same. So big shout outs to that Mage for sending me through these replays. If you have a deck that you really like and you want me to cast some replays, and you've got the HS Replays tracker, you can send them through to me on Twitter. Send them through to me at mailtommywave@gmail.com, and I will do my best to cast them. I really want to get better at casting, and particularly if you do use HS Replays, we'll flash this one up quickly. If you want to get HS Replays Premium, you can use my referral link, and it really helps me out. Allows me to keep using HS Replays Premium. Allows me to save a little bit of coin, which I do spend a bit on the stream. But anyway, those are the replays. So we're going to take this information, we're going to go play some games with the deck, and hopefully we're going to be able to make some more informed decisions on the ladder, and hopefully get some wins. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Let me know if you want to see more of this type of content. Do you like casting games? Do you hate the HS Replays interface? Are you okay with it? I know I'd love to cast some live games, but Australia time. Anyway, until next time, check out the next video. It'll be in the description. Stay safe, stay wavy, and bless yourself with wisdom. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.